Right. Hey, everyone. We are live. We are live, and we welcome everyone to the 8th annual edition to our socially relevant film festival. I'm getting a message here that somebody is trying to enter the studio. Unfortunately, we can only allow 10 people at a time. So I will not be able to. Can I just for a second let out one of the filmmakers so we see who it is, if it's somebody we need to have here? We need a volunteer filmmaker to try to disappear for a second and then come back afterwards if they can. Yes, let me see. No, well, I don't see anyone. So I don't see anyone. No. All right. So without further ado, let me say that I'm Nora Armani, founding artistic director of the Socially Relevant Film Festival, New York. This is our 8th annual edition, and it is the 2nd edition that we are going online. Last year, we were taken by surprise. We didn't know what was hitting us. And then after 2 months of deliberations, when we saw that everyone else was going online, we decided that we too should follow everyone else and go online. And we did. And after the successful transfer to an online experience without a streaming platform, I should say, we were just sending people links and passwords, which was not a very smooth experience, to say the least. Finally, this year we went on a streaming platform, and we are able to do a festival that is online through a streaming platform. So let me go back and introduce my team. I think we have here a bunch of people from the festival. Let me also mention that we want to take this opportunity to thank not only our sponsors and partners, which is usually what people do, they thank the sponsors and partners, but I want to thank specifically the filmmakers, because they took it upon themselves to make socially relevant films and make films that are important from a social perspective, and they are telling human interest stories. So this is important for us because they could very well go with the commercial platforms, and they could very well go with the commercial waves and make films that are about guns and violence and chases and things that are not necessarily making our lives any better. So unfortunately, those films are not, well, maybe fortunately, the films that we would program at the Socially Relevant Film Festival. So the Socially Relevant Film Festival is focused exclusively on films that tell social stories, socially relevant stories that deal with social issues and human interest stories. And in this, our 8th annual edition, I am happy to say that with the help of this wonderful team, which I will be able to introduce to you shortly, that we've been able to screen over 400 films to date, and shining the spotlight on filmmakers whose work otherwise might completely go unnoticed because of the fact that they may not have stars in them, that they may not present any commercial value, so to speak, even though I personally think, and a lot of people who come to the Socially Relevant Film Festival think, that these films do represent commercial value and should be widely spread and should be widely enjoyed by everyone. For those of you who just joined in and do not know the story behind why I founded this festival, is because I was getting sick and tired of seeing violence, not necessarily only on screen, because if you're seeing violence on screen, you have a choice of not to go and see that film. But if you see violent images on posters at bus stops, at billboards, at, with guns and violence and people screaming and running and all these explosions and things. These are attacks on your person, invading your life and your privacy. And all this violence that we are attacked with started bothering me. So I wanted to offer an alternative form of entertainment. But not only that, personally, I suffered a very big loss with my cousin and my uncle being violently murdered in a hate crime. And as the 10th anniversary approached, I wanted to create a situation where we could do a festival which stayed away from violence and celebrated social issues. Only doing films that didn't deal with violence meant that it was a bit limited. So I opened it to all sorts of social issues. And I would like to thank the jury members, some of whom I am seeing here in the green room. I will bring you on in a second. And then I also would like to thank the team members who have been there diligently working, looking at films, giving advice, helping whenever needed, being there in emergency situations, and also being present at our weekly Wednesday meetings, which is very, very important. It was the only way we could feel the semblance of a festival spirit. So I thank you all very much. And of course, last but not least, I thank our sponsors and partners who have accompanied us from the start of this festival. Now, let me see. We have team members. I would like to introduce you, Linda Selman, Donna Heffernan, Brianna, don't have your last name, you should put it, Natalie Gologorsky and Lucy Tripon. And they are also Michael. I don't know why Michael jumped out suddenly.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, okay. I just got added. I was dropped and now I'm back.
Yeah, you're dropped. But let me see who else is here that should be here. Yeah, we have a couple of filmmakers. We're going to introduce them to. Unfortunately, the studio allows only 10 people at a time. So now we have 7 team members, myself included. They are all volunteers. Everybody donates their time and energy and effort because they believe in the mission of this festival. So maybe we can take a quick turn and starting with Linda, Donna, Brianna, Natalie, and Lucy, and then Michael, last but not least, introduce yourselves quickly and tell us what you do with the festival. You're muted, Linda. Oh, I should unmute you because I was hearing earlier. Yeah, go ahead. You're unmuted now.
Thanks so much. I started with the festival in its conception. Always thought it was a brilliant idea of Nora's and wanted to help her in any way that I could. I think it is so special. It gives me a sense of the world in reality by watching filmmakers choose and create the world that they know, not the world of newspapers, but the world that they see and live in and want to share with us. And I am deeply grateful to them for the courage that they have to create their films. And that's why I'm here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Donna?
I thank you. I share Linda's sentiments. I was quite taken by the process of watching the films, and that is what I brought to the table. I also helped with outreach, and I'm here today, and I'm very grateful that I'm part of the festival. The stories that I've watched and heard, I feel they should be shared throughout the world. And I'm so grateful to Nora to have such vision from her pain to share this to the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a situation where I had already curated a lot of film festivals as a guest curator. I'm going to ask any one of you who is not speaking to please mute your mics, because I don't want to do it myself. And then when you start speaking, I forget and then you can't be heard. But when you are not speaking, the slightest background noise bothers. So I'm just going to go quickly and say that it was a situation where I had been helping a lot of other festivals as a guest curator. And I had said to myself, never again, this is crazy. I cannot do a film festival. It's really hallucinatory work. But when the time came to do this one, I realized that this is completely different. It has a mission. And if I don't do it, somebody else might or might not. And if I don't do it now, I'm going to end up regretting it for the rest of my life. And I have to say that despite all the difficulties, despite all the sleepless nights, I do not regret it one moment. So, Brianna, tell us a little bit about yourself and your involvement.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brianna. I watched a lot of the different films, and I helped with like some other backstage kind of tasks, different little things that go into doing the festival, such as uploading trailers on YouTube and little things like that. I just want to add to what everyone else has said, that watching all of the different films and just hearing all the different perspectives and stories and everything was a really lovely experience, and one that I really appreciate. And it was wonderful to be a part of this team, and wonderful that these films helped bring this team together also. So thank you to all the filmmakers who submitted everything. And thanks to everyone for working alongside everyone else. It's been lovely.
Thank you. Natalie?
Hi, so I'm the sponsorships and partnerships coordinator for the festival, but I also just kind of fill in a lot of other roles, like this.
A lot of other roles.
A lot of logistics with the jury, essentially. And by the way, I really wanted to thank the jury this year, because they worked really hard to judge a lot of films with our new system and everything. And we would not be able to present the awards without them. So I want to thank them for all their hard work. And I just wanted to say I've been with the festival since fall 2019 now, and I've just been continuously impressed with how many important social issues we managed to deal with our film. Basically almost every issue that other festivals leave out, because they tend to be more narrowly focused on a certain kind of art. And we're more interested in the stories being told rather than the specific form, I think. So we're willing to look at a wide variety of films, and I think that's really awesome. So I'm happy to be a part of this.
So, Lucy?
Hi, hi everyone. I'm happy to be here for the 8th time. I participated to the launch of the festival 8 years ago, so I've been part of the 8th edition. So for me, the festival is my family, and I'm happy to be with everyone, and I'm looking forward to that next edition. I must say I'm helping mostly at the moment with organizing the panel. We have 2 currently scheduled, one on industry panel, one on Wednesday and one on Friday. They will be talking about the buzz that made the film and new distribution in that new time we're living in at the moment. So I hope you all enjoy the 8th edition, and I'll see you at the closing night. Bye.
Yeah, with the awards. And yes. Michael?
Thank you. I've been with the festival now over the past, 4 or 5 years, I guess, and been involved with different aspects and got a chance to work with many wonderful people. The particular part that I focus on, and particularly this year, is the screenwriting competition. It's a personal area of interest to me. I like to read scripts. So there's the psychologists have some term for that condition, and I have it. But that's where these films were all started, with the script. So it's kind of a pleasure to see socially relevant films in that very early stage before the camera started rolling.
This is so wonderful. I cannot be happier to have wonderful people, a team that also believes in my vision, in what I'm believing in, and shares in it, because this is not a one-person job. There's no way one person can do a film festival. So it needs a team. It needs a family. It needs people who think in the same way and lend a hand in order to be able to have a successful edition. I have a jury member here who is in the green room. I'm going to bring them on. Swati, she's from New York Women in Film and Television, who is one of our partners in this year's edition and have been for a few years in a row now. So I am going to bring Swati on. Introduce yourself, please, Swati, and tell us which category you were a judge on, but don't tell us who the winner is.
Of course. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Nora. My name is Swati Srivastav. I'm a filmmaker. And I, as Nora said, I'm a member of New York Women in Film and Television, NYWIFT. And my work, I've worked in both India and the US. And my own work straddles both the narrative and the documentary world. And thanks to Nora, I had the wonderful opportunity to watch some really excellent films, various different topics from all around the world, and really enjoyed doing that in the short documentary category. And along with the other jury members of my category, Claudia Sobrel and Travis Hamill, we really had a blast watching these films, and I hope you will all too.
Okay, that is so wonderful. So now I need to bring on a few filmmakers, but let me see how many we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can bring on 2 filmmakers. Maybe I'll bring somebody who hasn't been on yet. Julia, can I bring you on? I'm just warning ahead of time so you don't suddenly see yourself popping up on the screen. And I can bring, I think, one more person. Josh, I'll bring you on. But I lost my other filmmakers, the ones who are supposed to be on at the 5:30 chat. I hope they come back. So, yeah. And I'm also going to be reading you some of the messages we're getting, congratulatory messages. Like, here we go. Ching, who is a team member and a huge supporter. Also, she has her video program. She's had films in the festival. She's congratulating and she's saying, hi, Nora and the team. You look very handsome. Thank you, Ching. And Rome Pictures is saying hello. Harlan Bosmajan is saying hello, everyone. An honor to be here again with you all. And Barbara Nemko, who is also a judge on the documentary section, saying, hi, everyone. Really appreciate Nora's opening remarks about the origin of the Socially Relevant Film Festival. These films are important, and I loved having the opportunity to be a juror this year. And I must emphasize, like Natalie said, the jury's job this year was quite difficult because of the new platform and how we migrated all the films, and it was a bit of a challenge, but in the end, they came out with flying colors. So let me introduce another filmmaker here, Josh Krahn, who was already speaking earlier, and I have Nicola Pecci, which I'm going to bring you on. Nicola is the actor. Yes, he's the actor in I Married My Mother, and we're going to talk with them at length later on at 5:30. But this is like the beginning. Laurie Weintraub is saying very interesting. Thank you, Laurie. And if anybody wants to ask questions or put remarks in the comment section, please feel free to do so. Let me see Julia, introduce yourself quickly so we can rotate. If new people come on, we give them a chance to be on camera as well.
Hi, I'm Julia. I created In.clu.sion. It's a documentary about representation in the entertainment media of people with disabilities. Yeah, I'm just very happy to be here. Obviously, like, my documentary was about social issues, and I think that it's so important that you guys are highlighting social issues that are really left out in bigger movies.
Yeah, we are going to be talking a little bit more with Nicola and Julia, and also I hope your director comes back, Nicola.
Yes, I've talked to him by phone, and he's trying to. He has some problems, but he's coming, I think.
Oh,
I hope.
okay. But because he was here earlier, and then I said if some people can excuse themselves, and suddenly I chucked him out. And Josh was with us earlier in the 2:30 session. His film is Organic Sustainable Agriculture, very interesting about the future of this planet, probably. So if you missed that, it's on our YouTube channel, the 2:30 session. You can catch it. You can catch all these sessions, which are broadcast live and recorded, and they're going to be put. We have Peter, very excited to hear from the filmmakers. Peter Smith is one of our filmmakers, team members, and he is responsible for the beautiful trailer that is on our YouTube site. I'm not going to play it here because it's going to eat up from the time we have together, but please make a point of going and watching that. He did a great job in putting it together. So thank you all very much, everybody. Let's see if I have anybody else in the green room that I need to bring on in. I guess not. Nobody can come in because we're already 10. So I'm going to start getting people, ushering people gently out. So I will start with Josh because you already had an opportunity. Do you want to say something before I kick you out? You're muted. Oh.
Thank you.
You need, now you can speak, yeah.
This festival is perhaps the most diverse in topic and origin of filmmakers of any of the dozen or more that I've been part of. So I'm very grateful to have been selected, and thank you to the team for putting such a wonderful event together. Next year, hopefully it will be combined with the live presentations at Lincoln Center, because there's a whole different experience that is wonderful, but it probably reaches many more people being digital.
We are all hoping for that. I was being optimistic and hoping this year would be hybrid, but we didn't get it. So I'm going to say goodbye to Swati, to Brianna, and to Josh, so we can clear the way to some more filmmakers. And let's see who's going to sign back in. But you need to be completely removed from the studio. So I'm going to also get you out of the studio, because if you are out of the screen, but you are still in the green room, some people cannot join in. I don't know why they made it this way. Yeah, so now three more people can join in. So Nicola, if you want to text or Domenico, or tell him or whatever. So
yes, right, I'll try to text him.
Yeah. So Julia, you can stay because you're the next one. Nicola will stay. Donna will stay, of course, and then we'll let Linda, Natalie, and Lucy go, but you still have 4 more minutes. If you want to stay with us, fine, but I want to make sure that there is room in the green room, so if people join in, they are able to. So, okay, who wants to volunteer to go first? To leave, I mean. I don't want to kick people out. Lucy, okay. goodbye, Lucy. We're going to say goodbye to you, and we'll see you in a future occasion. And I am also going to say, let Lucy go from the studio. And I'm going to bring on Jill, and I'm going to bring on the filmmakers, Domenico, Trevor.
Oh,
and,
here you are.
there we are. And let's see, Leona is here, but we'll give an opportunity to Jilly to introduce herself quickly. She's also on the team. She takes care of a huge part, which is the script competition, and reads single-handedly a huge number of scripts. She's not alone, but she has the huge part of it, and then organizes, directs a reading. Hopefully, many of you can attend tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. The readings from the 5 finalist scripts. And some of you filmmakers who are in the narrative fiction section, you might end up being inspired by some of these scripts and decide to collaborate with that script writer. Let me make a quick announcement. Whoever is not speaking, please mute your mics, because I'm getting a lot of background noise. I don't want to go ahead and mute you all, because if I do later, you cannot speak. Okay, so Jilly, go ahead.
Thank you, Nora. It's wonderful to be here and to see everyone. I'm so excited to get to watch all the films, which I just haven't had the time to yet, but I've been reading about them, and they just sound really so wonderful and fascinating and important. And I'm so excited to bring to you these 5 finalist scripts tomorrow. We have a cast, 23 actors from the worlds of Broadway, film, TV, off-Broadway, and we're excited to present these great works to you. And thank you for everyone who's involved, for all the hard work that you've put in to help make this beautiful and important festival possible. And I'm real excited to meet everybody and to watch all your films.
Thank you, Jilly. So I think we come to almost the end of our introduction section, and I have already declared the festival officially open with the help of the filmmakers and the team and some jury who were also present. So I'm going to say goodbye to Jilly, and I'm going to say goodbye to Natalie, and remove you from the stream and from the green room, so that we can concentrate on the filmmakers. Rome Pictures is asking, can each filmmaker introduce their project? Yes, please be patient. And in exactly 1 minute, we're going to come to that section of the chat, which is about the films and about the filmmakers. Right now, we are in that section. We have some people, Leona, I am going to bring you in. Oh, okay, I thought you were sideways for a second. All right, so we have all the filmmakers here, and we have Donna. I'm going to introduce her quickly. Donna is our moderator on this section. So let me introduce you, Donna.
My name is
okay. Donna Heffren is a seasoned creative director and a multimedia specialist. She is currently working on her first documentary and has survived her son's remote learning classes since March 2020. All of us have survived so many incredible things since March 2020. And it's hard to believe that it's already been a year we are in this situation. So, so thank you, Donna, for being part of the festival. And we are also both actresses, and we share an agent. So that's another thing we have in common. So I always forget that I am first and foremost an actress. Thank you. Maybe I should take a bow and get some applause here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because by force of trying to organize this festival of the 63 films from 33 countries this year, and sleeping at 3 a.m. and waking up with black circles under my eyes, I'm sure the directors completely forget that I'm an actress first. And then I'm also a festival organizer. So there you go. I've introduced Donna. So let me see if there are any people who have, who are still in the green room. We'll let Jilly go so she can be free to take care of her other commitments. And we are with the filmmakers now. So there is a comment section, whoever is listening. Please feel free to put your questions in the comments section in the YouTube. And also at some point, we are going to stop and ask questions. So we have a bunch of questions that we had pre-decided for the filmmakers. We're going to take a round. Everybody could introduce themselves about a minute or two. We don't have a huge amount of time, so let's be in the elevator speech mode, except when you're actually talking about your film and being asked questions specific to that. All right, it's your mic, Donna.
Thank you. And a heartfelt thanks to each one of you for bringing humanity to those with disabilities. And thank you for participating in this segment of disability in a positive light, because for certain, after watching and rewatching your films for today's discussion, I was left blown away, touched, reminded of my own humanity. So thank you. And let's begin with Julia Ward. You can state your name, even though your name is on the screen. It would be great to hear your name and the name of your film. And I thought perhaps, as Nora suggested, maybe 1 or 2 minutes of just discussing how this came to be.
So I'm Julia Ward. I created, wrote, directed, In.clu.sion. It is a documentary, like I said earlier, about representation of people with disabilities in the entertainment media, specifically how there's so little of it and what that does and how that impacts society as a whole. I'm one of 4 siblings, and my youngest brother, Spencer, he has 2 brain malformations. So he's my younger brother. I love him very much, but he just relies on me and my family to take care of him. And I've noticed, I live in rural New York, and I've just noticed that a lot of people are not used to seeing people with disabilities and being around them, and they're very uncomfortable. And that's something that's kind of bothered me my whole life, just noticing how people interact or react to Spencer. And I eventually equated it to the fact that people aren't used to seeing people with disabilities. And I attribute part of that to the fact that there is so little proper representation in the entertainment media. So that's kind of what I focused on with In.clu.sion.
Thank you. And how about, I think it's Leona Krahn. Your name is not appearing on the screen. If you'd like to begin, state your name, your film, and again, a few minutes about your project.
Oh. I'm trying to unmute.
Great.
Sorry. There we go.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah, my name's Leona. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah, it's choppy, but we can hear you.
Oh, great. Oh, wonderful. A bit choppy, yeah. Well, I'm from Winnipeg, Canada, and I've been I think 10th documentary. I produced my first 25 years ago, and this one was Vivi's vision was especially close to my heart. Just that I really fell in love with all the participants in the documentary. It's a very fun story to tell, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing what people think of it now that it's out there at the festival, which is a wonderful festival.
Awesome. Domenico, do you want to go next? Is he on? Oh, he just went off. Okay. Let's go with you, Trevor. Awesome.
Domenico, turn.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, sorry. Domenico, who you are, you back. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Trevor Graham. I'm a filmmaker for probably too many years to talk about. And I live in Sydney. My film is Chef Antonio's Recipes.
1 minute. Leona, I think we need to.
I live in Sydney. My film is Chef Antonio's Recipes.
1 minute. Leona.
Okay, shall I go ahead?
Yes, now we can hear you, and thank you so much for your patience.
Okay, I'll start again. I'm Trevor Graham. I've been a filmmaker for about 35, 40 years, way too long, I think. I live in Sydney, and my film is called Chef Antonio's Recipes for Revolution. Disability is not a word that I choose to use. I see the people in my film as very able people, and they started life with Down syndrome, but the film is all about how they are rising above their circumstances to achieve the things that we all want to achieve in life, which is to work, to earn a living, to have something meaningful to do each day, to fall in love, to fall out of love, to fight with the people you love. And the film is very much like that. It's a portrait of a small community in northeastern Italy where a very charismatic and inspirational chef has started this program to train people to work in Italian hospitality in hotels and restaurants. And it's a program that's really kicking goals because there are more restaurants and hotels opening up across Italy, like the one that started in Asti, which is just outside of Torino. And there's even now a hotel just outside of Sydney based on the same principles and the same training methods. So it's a film about how this scheme, which is about food, Italian food, and how it can draw people in to meet and be with people with disabilities, how it's spreading around the world and taking on the world and will change the world, and hence the title, Chef Antonio's Recipes for Revolution.
Great, thank you. So Domenico, thank you, Trevor. Domenico, I've introduced you twice, so here you go.
Antonio's Recipes for Revolution.
Thank you, Trevor. Domenico, I've introduced you.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao.
Ciao. Nora, tu dovresti tradurre oppure Nicola Pecci. Ciao Nora. Ciao. Ciao. Scusa, io ho studiato inglese alle elementari. Nicola Pecci. Senti? Quell'attore brutto, quell'attore no beautiful lì con i capelli, sembra John Travolta.
Studied in primary school.
Che sembra John Travolta. John Travolta. Che sembra John Travolta. Nora, io ti ringrazio di aver preso il mio film al tuo importante festival. Nora, io ti ringrazio di aver preso il mio film al tuo importante festival. Ok? Nicola, tu senti? Nora, io ti ringrazio di aver preso.
Do you want me to translate?
Importante festival. Ok. E
Domenico says that fammi tradurre. That is very happy that our film is on your festival. It's an honor for us to be with you, to be in your festival, and he's very happy. And he's very sorry also because he studied English only at elementary school. So like he can say.
Well, my Italian is nil, so we're good. Nora, we can hear you. Well, we can hear you. I wanted to bring out that all the films touched upon a very interesting aspect of showing a person with disability starting from the beginning of their life. And I thought that was curious. It kind of speaks to what Julia did in her film, which is we're people and we have a journey, and it's not about necessarily a particular disability, but about being human in our journey, and that we all have challenges. And I thought it was also interesting that that 20% of the world have disabilities, and that how important it is to bring someone who has a challenge, a disability, on screen, so that there's a reflection to those in the world who can finally see themselves and see their place, as in Chef Antonio's film, at the table. And I thought it was interesting. If you wanted to start, and I don't know whether Domenico can, will have reverb again, but perhaps let's start with Julia. How important is that to begin a story with showing a person as a child? So we all begin small. We all begin with this hope and dream of our parents, of society, and this is how we go. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
I mean, I think that being a child, I mean, that's the core of, I think, who you are. You haven't really seen the world yet, so you haven't really been affected that much by others. Your world is mostly your family. And so you haven't really experienced, I guess, like, this is going to sound terrible, but you haven't experienced hate. You don't understand that in certain cases, the world isn't, this happy place. It isn't what you're seeing on the television. Right. And so to see, I think that's like the core of the person. I think that it's so important to show, kind of like that sort of raw version of a person, and then going into life, because then it kind of shows, I guess, it's kind of like showing the full journey of the person. This is how they were, and this is who we're seeing now.
Right, right. And there's a purity with that. And I was going to bring it around to Domenico. In terms of his film, when the mother was shown as a child on the bed, when she loses her necklace, I don't know, Domenico, can you hear us? I don't know. Shown as a child on the bed. We're having some.
Yes, Domenico, if you want to answer.
I don't know. Shown as a child on the bed.
Yes. Yes, if you want to answer. Yes. Yes, if you want to answer.
I am wondering if Domenico doesn't have two things open at the same time. I think he has his computer and his phone, and so we're getting an echo. I think one of them needs to go.
Domenico, devi spengerne uno.
Sì.
Di cosa? Cosa devo spengere?
Dai, sia il telefono che il computer acceso.
Telefono e come si chiama? Il computer.
Ho spento.
Cosa devo spengere? Dai, sia il telefono.
No.
Acceso. Telefono e
No. È spento. È spento.
Perché there is an echo. Something is coming back afterwards. Even my words are coming back.
Spento.
There is an coming back afterwards. Even my words, like it's a recording and I'm being repeated. So maybe we'll have Nicolas speak.
Okay.
Coming back afterwards.
Okay.
Even my words, like it's a recording and I'm being repeated.
You were saying that at the end of the movie, the mother, that is my mother in the film, in some way, he comes back to her childhood. So he returns to be a child, and there's this beautiful scene that Domenico filmed at the seaside, and where we see she's dreaming about the beginning of her love story with Giuseppe, with his husband, and in some way this is a story of pure love, between a son and his mother, and the son fight against everyone to give back to her mother the love that their parents gave him during his life. And so he has to fight because nobody believes him, nobody follow him on this fight against this disease, the Alzheimer's disease. And after this strange marriage, I don't want to say too much, but after this particular marriage, she, in a way, she has back, maybe for a moment, but she has back his husband, and that's thanks to these poems. And so it's very I don't know, commovent. I don't know how to say commovente, like crying.
Moving.
Yeah.
See.
In terms of the mother's challenge or disability with Alzheimer's, what I thought was in the positive light is that in the moment she could bring back her past, and she was present in the past with her life. And I thought that was beautifully filmed. I wanted to ask each one of you, how did you find out about SRFF? I mean, when you were doing your film and then you were thinking, where do I send it? Why did it resonate that you came to this festival? And I'll start with Julia.
Well, I was really looking for a festival that really kind of like aligns with that same message of there's not enough of this.
Right.
And so I was just kind of like, I was on like Google because, I mean, with the pandemic, I have so much time. So, I was doing just like a ton of research, and then I came across the Socially Relevant Film Festival, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I did. This is perfect. So that's kind of like, I just kind of like stumbled upon it, really. I mean, it was like a chance find, really. And I was just like, how have I not known about this before when this is my whole thing? Like, this is what I've been working towards.
Right. Well, the teacher shows, the master shows. How about you, Trevor? I don't know if I see you. If you want to mention how you came about the film festival and what inspired you to participate. Trevor, you're on mute.
Trevor,
you're on mute.
Can you hear us?
Okay, why don't we we can move on to Nicola. For Domenico, how did you?
Yeah, and we also lost Leona. I don't know what happened to her. She first came out into the green room, and now I don't even see her in the green room.
Yeah.
So
the connection.
Trevor is back, but with a bad connection. It looks like he's trying to reconnect. This is like a dream, when in a dream you try to chase someone and you're running and you cannot catch them. And there you are, Trevor, the real Trevor. The other one is frozen. Two Trevors.
Trevor.
You're breaking up.
Yeah. You asked about the film through Film Freeway, but as soon as I read the description of what the festival was on about and the socially relevant theme, I thought it was a marriage made in heaven. So it was, high on my list, and of course I entered, and here we are today talking about the film, and the film will screen along with all these other wonderful films, which I hope I'll catch up with throughout this week. And I want to say thank you to Nora and the festival for selecting my film, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. That's a very good question, because I personally have learned so much from these films. Not just the ones that we have selected this year, but over the past 7 years, over 400 films that we have selected about a myriad of issues, the existence, some of which that I had no idea about. I've learned about people, I've learned about issues, I've learned about social problems, I've learned about languages and lives and everything that one is possible to learn about. And I must say that besides being an actress, my first interest, or my first master's degree, was in sociology from the London School of Economics. So I was always very much interested in social issues. So this was a just natural segue into this kind of work. And I must say that the festival brings together all of my interests: the acting, the directing, the script writing, as a filmmaker myself, and also the need, wanting to create a platform for voices, whether they are diversity-led or women, or, you know, voices that would otherwise not be heard. So it's very, very important for us to realize that we are sitting in a group of people whose voices may have not otherwise been heard. I'm not saying that that's the only outlet, far from it, but it's one of the many, or one of the few, let's say, possibilities that offers filmmakers who do not have a big name or stars or something like that, the platform, the opportunity, their films to be seen, for them to meet with their audiences. So I thank you all very much, because we still have time. I'm not wrapping up. I just want to take this opportunity and thank the filmmakers, which I do on a regular basis, because without filmmakers, we do not have a festival. Without filmmakers, we do not have the vision it takes to make a change in this world. And we have a very powerful tool in our hands. The tool of filmmaking is fantastic, and we should be able to use it to the best of our capacities to propagate the stories, the human interest stories. People, please, again, I can ask you kindly, if you're not talking, mute your mic, because there's a lot of reverb that's coming from all over the place. So yeah, so if you're not speaking, mute yourself, because I don't want to be the one to mute you, and then when it's time for you to talk, you won't be able to, or unless I unmute you again. So I wish to thank you all very, very much. So Donna, please feel free to pass it around.
You spoke of having a voice, and then also there's a quote in Chef Antonio's film, and Trevor, I just want to acknowledge it, that when one of the characters said, "They don't see me, they see the Down syndrome." And I think the importance of all of your films is that you gave a mirror reflection of what can be. I am here, and I'm like you. And I think that was the connection with humanity. And I think we lost Leona, but where do you think, in terms of now that your film is out, where do you see the film festival bringing your film to the next level? Does it inspire you to do another film? Would you keep on with this subject, with this segment? And I'll start with Julia.
Well, I mean, it really just makes me want to keep going on, because I know that there's so many other people who are working towards the same cause. Right. And I mean, if you just drop it, then it's like, okay, whatever, lost all the momentum. But it just really makes me want to keep going, because I know that there are other people who are working towards the same cause, and, you know, like the whole like stronger together thing, really. I mean, that's kind of like the most important thing. Like, why stop when there's so many other people?
Right.
You know, like,
and you had Peter Farrelly say that too in your film. He said he had just begun, and he said he saw so many changes happening. Like it's been a quick turn where we once were, and but it's just still not enough.
Exactly.
So many not heard, and we're not even talking just in terms of disability. We're talking about LGBTQ, being who you are, having the right to be who you are, and to be seen who you are, and accepted as who you are. And that was the gift of the medium with which you told your stories. And I was wondering, Nicola, as an actor, how important it is to be part of a film that gives voice to this message. I mean, what was it for you in terms of the process?
Yes, a lot. Unfortunately, this is the real story of Domenico, that his mother had Alzheimer's disease, and so he with this movie he has told his story. So for me, it was very important to understand immediately from the first days of his vision, to understand his vision, and it was very clear from the day one what he wanted from me, because he was still living in that moment this story, because his mother at the moment was alive. Unfortunately, now she's not anymore alive, but she saw the movie.
Oh.
And she saw the movie, and so we were together in that we call in this hospital that we call RSA, that is an hospital for people who have Alzheimer's disease. And so all these people, maybe most of them didn't understand what they were seeing, but they were crying and they were singing and they were dancing. And the mother of Domenico was in his arms and was watching and crying the movie. So what else can I ask as an actor? It's difficult to have an opportunity like this, and I want to thank Domenico again, even if he doesn't understand what I'm saying.
It's extraordinary how art connects us all.
If I can finish.
I am sure he understands, because he can catch it in the tone of your voice that you are ti ringrazio.
Domenico has subscribed, right? Subscribed, yes. The film all around the world, but he told me at the beginning that there were 4 or 5 festivals that he wanted to be in, especially for the meaning of these festivals, and one of them was your festival.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Leona, I want to give you an opportunity. I also loved your film very, very much. I was very inspired by it. It's Vivi's vision. If you want to speak about where do you see yourself now that you've been part of the festival, where do you see your film going from here? Is there an opportunity for you to do another film? And like Julia, would you consider keeping in this vision of presenting those with disabilities in such a positive light? So hopefully we can hear from you. I don't know if you can hear us.
Yeah, I think you're muted, Leona. You need to unmute your mic. Your mic isn't connected. Oh, now we have lost her completely. Wow, this is really not working. This session is going through a lot of technical
challenges.
issues.
I would call them challenges, Nora.
Right.
Kind of the
challenges. Well, I don't know what to say, but I think these are all fantastic films. So I am going to remove Leona, because I had given her the full screen, but then it all went black. Right. So now I'm taking over. Again, I cannot thank you all enough. And I want to announce that the festival officially has opened. And from tomorrow, actually from today, just 1 minute after midnight, 15th of March, the Ides of March, that's why we like to do that, it kicks in, and for the entire week you can catch these films anytime you like. Well, the best thing to do, actually, if you want my advice, not because it's more expensive, but actually in the long run it's cheaper, to purchase the $75 all access pass, which will give you access to all 63 films from 33 countries, anytime, an unlimited number of times. If you like a movie, you can come back and see it again. Whereas with just one ticket, you'll be able to see it once. The tickets are only $7. That's not even expensive. You can buy a latte or a nice, elaborate espresso or something like that. The world is becoming very expensive now. So this is the cheap movie. And then every day from 10 to 11, we have Cine Cafe hours, where the filmmakers will get together and we will all discuss in a more informal atmosphere our projects, our talks. We can network together, and we will probably speak in Italian with Domenico at that point. So hopefully you'll come and join us. And from 10 to 11. And tomorrow from 11 to 12, we have a SAG-AFTRA special workshop on low-budget film production. Especially now, it's become very important because there are all sorts of low-budget. You can go and film on your phone, and you can broadcast it on the web and so on. So there are new regulations and how to go about them and how to make films with a low budget, with a shoestring budget. And then at 2:30, we have another one of those talks with the women, empowering women and immigration films. And at 4 o'clock, it's a packed program. 4 o'clock, we have, I forgot, what do we have at 4 o'clock? Yes, we have the forms of protest. Very interesting films that use music in Latin America to disperse protest ideas about between people and get them to react to injustice. Very, very interesting film. A lot of very interesting films. Like I was saying in the previous session, the difficulty organizing and programming this festival is not, oh my God, where am I going to find my films? It's like, oh, how can I leave this out? What film am I going to leave out? And then, of course, it's a hard decision. And for all the filmmakers who never made it, please do not be discouraged. You took the chance. You made a fantastic socially relevant film. Because it's not in a program, it doesn't mean your film was bad. It just means that it didn't fit in this year's program. And in the women filmmakers session, there was one filmmaker who said that she had applied a few years in a row and had not had an opportunity. And then finally this year, her film got in. I didn't remember that. It's not because I said, oh, we've refused her 3 years, let's get her in this year. No, we just go for quality. And if you believe in your work, you should just stick to it and keep going on with it, because the world needs this kind of film. So the films can be found at the Socially Relevant Film Festival website. We also have a platform, but there is a button in there that will take you to that platform. So you don't have to remember too many websites. And the filmmakers get passes. So I want to thank you all very much for being here. Donna, if you want to ask some wrapping question or make a comment, please feel free. I think we can allow ourselves an extra minute or so.
As long as there are no echoes and I'm not struggling with my Italian, yes, that would be great. Again, I just wanted to echo what Nora said, and essentially that hopefully that you'll go on, move forward, give us more art to watch, more thoughts to think. And it's been my privilege and honor to watch each of your films at least 2 or 3 times. So one was four times. So it was my joy and my pleasure. And I wish you all the best in your career. And I hope to see you soon. And thank you. Be safe.
Thank you all very much. Bye. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
A presto.
The only Italian I know.
Okay. I'm ending the broadcast now.